Thank you, Chair, Ranking Member. An incredibly important hearing. Thank you for taking the time to lead this hearing this morning. From the state of Florida, you can imagine this is of great interest to us. We host numerous international and national sporting events. I think during my time as Attorney General in Florida, we hosted back-to-back Super Bowls. Security of our large events, sporting events in particular, is of utmost importance to us, especially since we are also a state committed to law and order and consistently striving to be the example of how you can maintain a safe community and state for the citizens that we've pledged to do and as a government. General, thank you for your service to our nation. I was just at West Point watching the graduation a couple of weeks ago. The oldest boy in our family just graduated from there, and I'm always mindful of the greatness of this nation rests on the backs of so many that served us, and we are grateful to you. There have been traditional security threats associated with these large-scale events, from checkpoints, human trafficking even. We would often, in preparation as Attorney General, would host large-scale human trafficking trainings for law enforcement, but not just law enforcement, our other stakeholders, the hospitality industry. All of these things are necessary. I think what is unique now, and we're watching it on TV right as we speak, is the necessity of having strong leadership, both state and local, in cooperation with federal authorities to maintain law and order. And, I'm hoping in the future that international and national events take into consideration what kind of leadership is offered at the state level, because you can see when you have weak leadership in terms of safety and security and law and order, you often see civil unrest that could have been avoided. And you're going to have your work cut out for you in LA. I mean, that's just a fact. And we're watching it play out right now. In fact, in Florida, we have strong concerns because in 2024, we had security breaches at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida, and that's going to be where 8 FIFA World Cup matches, including the opening match, and 7 FIFA World Cup matches, including the bronze final match, will be played. We saw spectators able to get around gates and hop fences and climb through ventilation systems to avoid security personnel, and all of that takes the cooperation of not just federal authorities and on-site, but leading up to the events, local authorities working and providing intel to make sure this kind of things don't happen. So I'm watching what's playing out right now in LA. We talked about what keeps you up at night. What keeps me up at night is this is happening in our country. And I fear, if in LA specifically, that you're going to have your work cut out for you and have to bring to bear all of the talents and experiences you used in the military, but all of your relationships working with state and locals, and hopefully they'll come around to their senses by then and work with the federal government to ensure security. And I wish you well with that. That is a challenge that I can't believe we're having to address in our nation right now. Dr. Lagone, I wanted to talk to you about developing technologies. Drones are presenting very unique risks right now to large-scale sporting events. We're seeing a lot of drone activity over military bases right now. I've introduced a bill to combat taking video using drones because one of our laws has a loophole that allows for that to happen. It's illegal to take pictures using drones of military installations, but not video. So we're trying to update our laws, close loopholes. I'm very concerned with drones and how they might be used to undermine security and safety of patrons attending sporting events. Families Against Fentanyl has been warning for a long time about the fentanyl coming into this country that's being stockpiled. In 2021, just in that 1 year, it was enough to kill the entire US population multiple times over. And they have a study that just horrified me, that drones could be used to release fentanyl. I know that you have thought through this. We are now, as senators and one of my other committees, determining how we might be able to better use state and locals to help with some of the threats from drones. Do you have any suggestions where the federal government might provide better laws or resources to the state and local law enforcement to help combat those threats?
Thank you so much for that question. Drones are something that keep me up at night because you see them in other theaters. One of the problems with that, though, is that most of our research has been done about drones that are in the Middle East or in Mexico. We don't have any comprehensive studies in the United States looking at how they work in our operating environment. So even with this legislation, we don't know how it's going to deter or even have any ramifications because there's no framework in the United States about how to integrate all of this information. So one of the things that I would recommend is for us to get a better handle on what's happening with all of the downed drones in the United States, because we do have them in areas of war. We know that Iranian-sponsored groups are using them much more over there, and we are able to use technology to understand them, but we don't have them here in the U.S. And so I think what you're talking about is a really important question, but we just don't have the answers right now because we don't have any kind of systematic way to evaluate them. Thank you.
And if there were studies out there that people had conducted on their own or groups very interested in the security of our large-scale events, those would be of interest to you, certainly, I know. But if you do come across those, please forward. We're trying to collect as many as we can. Please forward those to us so we may consider them for future legislation.
Yeah, that would be great. We have a large-scale study right now funded by Science and Technology Directorate where we're trying to codify what they're used for and what the supply chain was to create them. And that's why I've learned that there's nothing out there like it.